All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Today, we're going to have a pricing strategy conversation. Now, as you can tell, I've already drawn a bunch of pictures on the whiteboard behind me. I'm not sure if it's showing as well as I want it to. I think there's a little bit of glare on this side down here. So let me see if I move that. That's a little better. Yeah, better. Okay, so let's start with how do you create a supply and demand analysis? Now, some of this is going to be repetitive. Just remember that, repetition is the mother of learning. So if you've heard this before, cool. You'll probably hear it again. All right, so here's the math formula. Start with A. A is the number of active listings that are currently on the market within a 2 to 3 mile radius of your property. Now, it doesn't matter if they're comparable. I've had some of you reach out to me lately and ask, am I only looking at comparable properties? No, you're looking at properties that are in the same price range. So if your subject property has a sale price that you're predicting, let's just pick 630,000 for the purpose of the conversation. So the market we're looking at is 600 to 650. I want to know, what does that market look like? Now, if I'm selling a single family home, then yes, I'm only looking at single family homes, but I'm not really concerned with whether or not the other homes that are for sale between 600 and 650 are comparable or not. I simply want to know, what's the supply of single family homes within a 2 to 3 mile radius of my subject property. All right, that's A. Now, B is the number of homes that sold in the last 6 months in the same location, in the same price. So again, how many homes sold within a 2 to 3 mile radius of my home between $600,000 and $650,000. Now, C is B divided by 6. In other words, the number of homes that sold divided by 6 tells me how many homes are selling every 30 days. All right, now we've got all the information we need in order to get to D, which is, what's the inventory? How many months of supply do we currently have within this price range? Now, in order to get that, you're going to take A and you're going to divide it by C. So in this example that I did over here on the left side, we have 6 active listings, 24 sold in the last 6 months. We take 24 and divide it by 6. We have 4 selling every 30 days. A divided by C, or the number of active listings divided by the number that are selling every 30 days, means we have an inventory of 45 days. Now, if we have an inventory of 45 days, then we're in this market over here. We're in a market where prices are going up. Homes are selling above the asking price. We're probably getting multiple offers. And when you price in your listing in that kind of market, you could be a little bit more aggressive and price it a little bit higher. In that market, the last home that sold creates a new floor. Please write that down. So what does that mean? That means the next home that sells is going to sell for more money than the last one that did. Now, if we go over on the right side of this whiteboard here and we looked at, okay, what if the market looks more like this? What if I have 12 active listings and I need to get this on wheels. 12 active listings, 18 sold in the last 6 months. So I'm going to take B divided by 6, or 18 divided by 6 gives me 3 homes selling every 30 days. Now, I'm going to take A, which is 12 active listings. I'm going to divide it by C, which is 3 are selling every 30 days. And I have 4 months of inventory. Big difference. Now, when I'm in a market where there's 4 months of inventory, I'm over here. And I want you to notice this is the market going up. This is 0 to 60 days. When we get to 90 days, the market starts to flatten out. And typically what's going to happen is we're heading towards shift and prices are going to start coming down. And that usually happens somewhere between 90 and 120 days on the market. Now, if you don't know how to do this, or you don't do it, then you're going to take that property and you're going to price it. I'm going to a different price now, guys. You're going to price it at 760 because that's what the seller wants. And because you're working as an order taker, you're going to go ahead and take the listing. Awesome. I'm so excited. I got a new listing. This is amazing. And I'm going to price it at $760,000. Okay, fine. Now, the challenge with that is our window of opportunity is the first 30 days. This is the time where the greatest number of people are looking at our home. And if we're at $760,000, we're missing the market. All right, let's look at it a different way. I have any space left here. There we go. So 760 is up here. 740 is down here. Think of it like fishing. All right, you're going fishing and you're hanging your bait 3 feet out of the water. That's the $760,000 price. Now you can't catch any fish if the bait is out of the water. You got to get down here where the buyers are. And here's the other thing. Let's go back over here. If 3 are selling every 30 days and there's 12 active for sale, you have to be one of the top 3 in the next 30 days. In other words, there's a competition. And the competition is there's 3 homes selling. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you going to be one of the 3? This is a pricing strategy conversation. It's not a pricing conversation. It's not about how much is your home worth, because let's go back over here. It may actually be worth $760. However, the strategy to get it sold in the next 30 days so you can move to Atlanta in order to be with your family is to price it at $740, because we want to price ahead of the market in order to beat the competition. Script, write it down. We want to price it ahead of the market in order to beat the competition. You see, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, because we're here, we have 2 choices. We can either create the market or we can chase the market. Now, most people are going to chase the market. Let me tell you what that looks like. So we're going to go back over here. We have this home at $760,000. A buyer comes in at 120 days and they love your home. And 90 days out or 60 days out, you call me and you're like, John, you know what? It's not selling at 760, lower it to 740, and we all think we're okay because now we're at the right price. The problem is we missed our window of opportunity, meaning fewer people are looking at our home. Everybody's already judged it as overpriced until somebody comes in at 120 days and they love your home. First question they're going to ask is, how long has it been on the market? The real estate agent's going to say 120 days. The next question they're going to ask is, what's wrong with it? Real estate agent says, absolutely nothing is wrong with it. It's a beautiful home. It's a great price. You should make an offer. Now, you're the buyer. Are you offering full price? Of course not. Why? Why are you not offering full price? Because it's been on the market 120 days, which means opportunity. You're seeing this as an opportunity to get a deal. So you come in with an offer of $720,000. I know this is a hot mess, but I hope you guys can read all these different numbers up here. You come in with an offer of $720,000. Who has the negotiating position, the strongest negotiating position at 120 days? Well, the buyer does. Not you, the seller. Now, at 30 days, the seller has a negotiating position. That same property at $740,000, they get an offer in the first 30 days. They might even get a couple offers. And now we got people bidding over that property. And the seller has the advantage in that conversation. The buyer has the advantage at 120 days. Now, the seller's motivation is different. They're more motivated than they were. So now they're going to accept that offer for $720,000. And they lost $20,000. They lost $20,000 trying to make an extra $20,000. However, we're not done. They've also got holding costs. So from 30 to 120 days, we have an extra 90 days. If holding cost is $4,000 a month, we lost another $12,000. In other words, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're spending $4,000 a month not to sell your home. All right, let's pivot to price reduction conversations. So you're thinking, okay, John, I get this. Man, I wish I would have got this a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago. I've got this listing and it's just sitting. Now what do I do? So price reduction conversations, where does your heart stop? Todd, at what point are you not selling your home? What does a price look like that you would accept versus reject and not sell your home? We're currently at $760,000. If we had an offer for $750,000, what would you do? I'd accept it. Okay, what if it was 740? I'm not so sure. All right, so if you're not getting $740,000, your plan B, if you can't get 750, is you're not going to sell. Now you're speaking to a seller that you know is motivated to sell their home. You know they are. They're moving to Atlanta. They have a new job. They have to sell. So if you're not getting at least 750, you're not selling. And Todd says, no, I have to sell. Well, not really. I mean, you can rent the property out, right? Go ahead and suggest it. I promise you, they're already thinking about it. Now, after I suggest it, I'm going to ask them, okay, so before you do that, Sean, if you did rent it out for $740,000, what's your greatest fear?
That the rent wouldn't cover my mortgage and I'd be taking a haircut.
There you go, Sean. Okay, stay in here with me. Let's keep talking. What if you get these renters in here and they're not making their payments and you have to go through the process of evicting them? What if it takes 3 months and you've lost all that income for those 3 months while you were in the process of evicting them? How would you feel about that?
I'd be pretty pissed and maybe mad at you because I'm going to use you to get the tenants.
Yeah, okay. Now, what if you get the property back and it has $20,000 worth of damage? How do you feel about that?
I'm going to be real upset. Yeah, really upset because I'm in Atlanta now and I don't know contractors. I can't be on site. I mean, I can't do any of those things.
Okay, I get it. So, Sean, is plan B, if you don't get 750, renting your home? Is that a good plan?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'd say definitely not based on what you just said. So let's go back to plan A. If you're not getting $750,000, at what point, what does an offer look like that you would accept? Now understand that you're in a market where there's 120 days of inventory and prices are probably dropping. So if 740 is the price it's going to take to get your home sold today, in 2 months, 3 months, it might be 730. It might be 720. Now, knowing that, what does a price look like that you would sell your home for?
730.
Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to give you, Sean, you're doing an amazing job. I want to give you an additional idea here, okay? You've had 10 people look at your home in the last 30 days. All right. Now it was priced at 760 and then we lowered it to 740. Now we haven't lowered it to 740 yet. It's still 750. This is 760. Now Sean just said I'd sell my home for 730. You've had 10 people look at the home in the last 30 days. Call those real estate agents up that showed your property and ask them, is your buyer still looking? When you looked at our property, it was priced at $760,000. Now, just out of curiosity, what do you think is the right price? They come back with, I don't know, 720. All right. So if the seller were willing to sell it for 720, is your buyer still interested in buying? I don't know. Let me check. So they come back to you and they tell you, yeah, they are. Go to your seller and have your seller make an offer to the buyer. Now you can tell that buyer's agent, we're going to lower the price, but I wanted to give you the first opportunity to come in with an offer before we do that. Because once we lower the price to $730,000, I expect it's going to sell pretty quickly.
Love it.
Okay.
Uh, just earlier you said go to the seller and have the seller make an offer to the buyer. Is that right? You're correct. I'm correct in what I heard.
Yeah, you heard it right.
Reverse offer, baby.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. You heard it right. You absolutely could do that.
Can you tell me more about that?
Okay, so Brittany, you've got every time you get feedback, this
Mhm.
should be the process. What did your buyer think?
They love the home.
Okay. The asking price is $760,000. Are your buyer is your buyer interested in making an offer? Say no.
No,
Okay. What do you feel is the right price in order for this home to sell, Brittany?
740.
Okay. If the seller was willing to sell for 740, would your buyer make an offer today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Would you do me a favor and just check with the buyer and make sure they're good at $740,000 and get back to me? Now, Brittany gets back and says they're good at 740. I'm going to call my seller up and say Brittany's buyer is willing to buy your home for $740,000. Let's make an offer to them of $740,000. We're at 760, but let's call Brittany and let her know for you and you only, and for your buyer only, the price is 740, not 760.
Got you. Okay. That makes sense. I was just making sure it wasn't like a addendum or anything you had to go into with that, but that makes sense.
You could write it up. You could
Okay.
absolutely write it up, but it could also be a verbal conversation too, Brittany.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right. So if you have a buyer or you have a seller who's saying, go ahead. Nope. Okay. I thought somebody was going to talk to me. All right. So if you have a seller who says, well, I want you to do more marketing. This is one of my favorite conversations. So here's your response to somebody who wants you to do more marketing. I'll be more than glad to do more marketing. Unfortunately, it's not going to accomplish anything. More marketing at the wrong price just tells more people that we're overpriced. Now, here's the other thing. I want you to talk to them about how many people are looking at their property online, because if you've only, let's say it's been on the market for 30 days and you've had one showing every week. Okay. So you've had 4 showings and their response is, well, we've only had 4 showings. And it's really not time to lower the price. Well, in addition to the 4 people that looked at your home in person, there were 1,000 who looked at your property online and chose not to look at it. You had 1,000 people reject your home just based at looking at your home online. The reason they rejected your home was price. Now, for those of you who are in markets where things are super hot right now, then just put this video away and watch it when things slow down, because they will slow down. For those of you who are in markets where there are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months of inventory, then absolutely watch this video again and have pricing strategy conversations. Stop having pricing conversations. It is not about finding the right market price. It is about the strategy in order to beat the competition to get your home sold in the next 30 days. By the way, the conversation is always get your home sold in the next 30 days. You may have a seller who says, well, I'm not in a hurry. And your response to that should be, if selling your home faster meant you were going to sell it for more money, would you be in a hurry then? If you knew that the longer your home sat on the market, the less money you were going to get, would you price it more aggressively in the beginning? If you had a crystal ball and you knew that your home was going to sell for $740,000, would you rather sell for $740,000 in 30 days or 6 months from now? Now really pause on that one and make them answer the question. Make them answer that question. Because I promise you they haven't thought about it until you've asked that question. Now, the only answer, remember guys, you're playing chess. It's just like an attorney. You're not asking a question that you never ask a question you don't know what the answer is going to be. You're asking great questions that lead to checkmate, and checkmate in a good way. Okay. I'm not trying to beat them. I'm trying to help them. So if you knew your home was going to sell for 740,000, would you rather sell it for 740 30 days from now or 6 months from now? Make them answer that question. Now, the only answer is 30 days. Where do we need to be in order for your home to sell in 30 days? What's the right pricing strategy to get that done? Then you're going to have somebody who says, I don't want to give my home away. Totally get it. Get it. I don't know. Raise your hand if you're starting to hear people say that, because that was every call 15 years ago. Every call, right? So some of you are starting to hear that, right? Yeah. So my smart ass response to that was, yeah, I don't want you to give your home away either, but if you do, give it to me. Don't use that. All right. If your home sells today for 740, you feel like you're giving your home away, right, Brian? Brian says, yeah, I do. All right.
Oh, yeah.
What if you and I have a conversation in 6 months and the value is now 720? Did you give your home away?
Nope.
Okay. Closing on this. There's 3 things you need to master: observation, forecast, persuasion. Observation simply means this is what I see. This is the data. Based on the data, this is what's going to happen. This is the forecast. Persuasion means mastering these conversations at a level that is going to help your seller make the right decision to get their home sold. That's all about perspective, by the way. When you have somebody that said, what if you have somebody losing money on their home? Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Wait until you sell somebody's home who's bringing $50,000 to the closing table. I promise it'll happen. And they're like, oh my God, I'm losing money on the sale of my home. All right, let's talk about that. You've been in the house for 4 years. That's 48 months. If you were renting your home for $3,000 a month, it's about $150,000 over the past 4 years that it would have cost to rent your home. Here's the good news. You didn't spend $150,000 to rent your home. You got to live in your home rent-free, enjoying your home for 4 years. You didn't lose $150,000. Now, I get it. You're selling your home for $40,000 less than what you paid for it. I get it. That's a loss. You actually gained $150,000 because you have to live somewhere and you weren't paying rent. So did you really lose $140,000? All right, guys, talk to me.
John, where do I get a copy of this video?
It'll be
It's on his YouTube.
It'll be on my YouTube channel, Todd, and it'll also be in our Survive to Thrive Facebook page.
These conversations are exactly where the Austin market is right now.
I know.
We are living this reality. We have 6 to 12 months or more in some neighborhoods, and I feel like on the listings we've had, we've been behind the 8 ball. We've been pricing it where the market's at, not where it's going, and that's been a real problem chasing our tail.
There you go. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, John, this is super helpful for us here.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Hey, John, I do.
Yeah, Dave.
I do want to say the reverse offer is something that I heard about like a year ago, and I did it one time, and I think it's super valuable in our market. Before we do a price reduction, like you're saying, go to those people. And one thing I want to say to Brittany, because you had a question about it, is that I actually wrote the offer for my seller, had him sign it, and sent it out.
Yeah.
But that means that you need to withdraw that if somebody else comes along and does an offer, and so you don't want multiple offers out. But it is a very powerful tool, and we were able to get that person under contract using that. So I'm glad he brought that up because it is awesome.
Awesome. That's good to know. Thank you for sharing that.
Great stuff, guys. Really good stuff. All right. I hope you guys got great info today. It will be on my YouTube page before the day is over. It'll also be on your Survive to Thrive page. So please jump in there, watch the video, watch it a bunch of times, take notes, PDR it, practice, drill, rehearse it until you've internalized the conversation. And by the way, when you do that, you're going to show up and have conversations with sellers that very few other people are. Very few. Maybe 1% of the real estate agents are having these conversations. And holy cow, you are going to stand out as a professional. You really are going to be different, and more people are going to want to work with you because you understand this and nobody else does.